good morning. I'm John Jeffries. I'm here this morning with John Garrity, and John's got a few questions he's going to ask me this morning.
Thank you, John, for seeing me today. As you know, I've now retired, and I was looking to go into a motorhome. I was thinking about your expertise, and I thought I'd put a few questions to you, if that's okay.
Sure, John. Fire away.
Yeah. John, people who buy motorhomes, what caution should they take before they go into one?
Basically, I would say that the biggest caution would be people probably first-time buyers, first time they've just retired, you know, they've been looking towards this all their life. It's the dream to get out and travel Australia, and it's retirement, you know. And the biggest caution would be to just not rush straight in, because it is a major decision, and motorhomes are not, they're not the cheapest item on the shelf. So you'd need to be pretty sure of what you're getting is the right one. So have a good look around before you make a decision, and then probably list down the best thing we say to people, and we have a list here. It was like a wish list. So list the requirements that you and your wife would like in the motorhome, and that can vary from one person to the other, and then we see if we can meet the list, meet your requirements.
Yes, John, I do have questions. I've travelled around a fair bit driving, as you know, for work, and in Australian conditions, safety is paramount. How should I look to travel safely, stress-free?
Yeah, well, I think one of the ones is a lot of that would get back to making sure you got the right one. You know, getting back to the wish list you've got, your list of requirements. Most of our vehicles, not all, but most of them are the Toyota Coasters, and they've all been commercial. They're a commercial vehicle, so they're licensed to carry. They were licensed to carry 24 people. So you can imagine the safety requirements, something like that would have to meet. And they're all built in the Toyota factory, so they spend millions of dollars getting the power to weight correct and the wind resistance. So you can imagine that they would be pretty much right on to what your requirements would need. So, and we go through the vehicles. We have our own service division here, and we've got our own bus and coach mechanic, and we go right through them so that we limit the chances of any problems. However, if you do have a situation where something arises, you're backed by a 5-year warranty on the vehicle. And Toyota, well, Toyota you can get. Yeah, that's right. And if you're in Bullamakanga or Ayers Rock, usually you can get pretty much anything for them in those small towns that we have.
Yes, John. What are other mistakes you feel that people make when they're buying these vehicles?
Well, I guess one of them would be the bed combination, getting either a single bed or a double bed, and getting in and out of the bed, because as we move along, we tend to get up a little bit in the night. So some of the beds are really difficult if they're across to hop out. So we found this in the early days. So what we've done to overcome it is made a walk-round bed. So either partner can hop out and just walk out without disturbing the other one.
But mattresses in the spring?
Yeah, they're in a spring. Yes, they are, and they've got the foam layer on top. Yeah, the mattresses are all tailor-made to the size of each bed. So I think comfort's a big one. To get a good night's sleep, is pretty important to us. And the other biggest one would be, I guess, automatic or manual.
Yes, my wife doesn't drive a manual vehicle.
Oh, she doesn't?
No,
okay.
Automatic. So automatics are available?
Yeah, most of ours are automatic, fortunately, which is, we're really proud to be able to say that. And, it's interesting you say about your wife, because a lot of people if something happens in the middle of the sticks and something happened to you and your wife's got to hop in and drive, well, she needs to be able to do that. And most of them, not all, depending on the weight criteria, but we seem to comfortably be able to get most of them as car licence. So
it's important.
Yeah, that's important. That would probably be the big.
Yes, John. Buying a motorhome, I know your house is most probably the biggest capital outlay. And buying a motorhome would be possibly the next biggest outlay that you have as far as your expenditure and your capital. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's interesting you say that, you know, John, because most of our clients have just about bought everything there is to buy. You know, when you get to our age, we've bought houses and cars and microwave ovens and all those things. So generally a motorhome is probably maybe the last major purchase that any of us are like. The biggest one would be to consider the amount that you're going to invest in a motorhome. And the amount you're going to invest is generally in relation to how long you're going to keep it, you know, and how much use you're going to make. So that's pretty the two relevant things. How much are we going to outlay here, and how many times are we going to use? Well, we've got how many times are we going to use it in a year? We've got a lot of people that have been. One customer's been going for 11 years, but so he lives in it, you know. So that's a big consideration. Are we going to live in this? Are we going to sell our home and live in it? So that's a pretty drastic.
So I should research for my own benefit for the outlay that I'm going to do.
Yeah, the lifestyle, and if you're going to use it just for a week or two here and there. Exactly.
The size.
Yeah. The size is important, and the size is relative to us to try and keep it in car licence.
And what the outlay is.
And the amount you're spending,
Yeah. Yes, John, I've known you for quite a few years, and this is why I've come to pick your brains. I've bought vehicles from you beforehand when you were in the car industry. How did you get into the industry after the car industry?
Well, that was interesting, you know. First of all, we bought a second-hand one, a Toyota Coaster with a second-hand fit-out, maybe 10 or 20 years old. And those days, we're talking 10 years ago, just put a little ad in the trading post, and we had about 30 phone calls off one little ad then. And the third person bought it. So we did it again, same thing again, 20, 30 phone calls, and a third or fourth person bought it. However, when there were people, particularly the ladies, when they were looking at them, they'd look at the bathroom and the second-hand bathroom. Then they'd look at the kitchen and, you could tell that...
Skeptical.
Yeah, who's been in there? So we thought, just a minute, why not a used vehicle with a brand new fit-out? So that's what led us to where we are today. And when we first started doing them, we were just building, well, we weren't building them, we were just doing the renovation and making them all okay a bit out on the footpath across the road, up in a little cul-de-sac outside the yard there. And then we thought, particularly now we're going to do new fit-outs, we need some tradespeople and some equipment. So, and one other thing that really topped it off, I was in Rotary at the time, and we had a lady that's from Brisbane Council. She'd been on the council for 37 years. And she said to us, by 2018, 50% of the population in Queensland is going to be over 50. Well, and they're the people we should be marketing to. So that's a couple of things that got us rolling.
During the course of my looking around, John, I found that you'd been awarded a business award through Rotary, I think it was. That's right?
Yeah, that was through BRW, part of Financial Review. They have business awards once a year for called the BRW Fast 100, fastest growing companies nationally. So we were lucky enough to enter into it, and we were the 40th fastest growing company of course, that shows you the demand that's out there for motorhomes. So we, as I said, what brought that about is we started over the road and then we moved over here with just one cabinet maker and one fitter, and myself, of course, putting little ads in the trading post at that time. No, we didn't even have an online website or anything. And then we found that there was quite a big demand. It was quite surprising. People, and even though we're not on a main highway, we're down the side area, people were just coming in. And at that time, we weren't showing people fitted out vehicles. We didn't even have a showroom. We didn't even have a fitted out vehicle. All we had was an empty bus, because as I said, we've now decided, we're going to put brand new fit outs in them. So, and we were building one for a client, and clients would come in and have a look at one being built, and then maybe have a look at an empty bus which would be sitting out on the side street there. And then we would, if they were happy, then we would draw a design and they'd give us a list of their requirements, and it went from there. And fortunately, as I said, it's a very much a growth market. They're saying it's the third fastest growth industry nationally, and it's powered by the baby boomers, of course. And then today we've got over 20 people now, and we've got 4 factories here. Well, no, I beg your pardon, 3 factories. One of them's our own workshop, mechanical workshop, and then we're able to get a factory right next door, and then we're lucky enough to get the showroom. So there has been quite a demand, and it's been, some ups and downs on the way through there, and it's been quite challenging. Yeah, from time to time to get where it is today. And also we've got to keep getting new innovation and new ideas, and that's why we go to all the trade shows. Yeah, so it's been quite exciting. Yeah, that's right. With growth comes a bit of pain.
As always.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, John, I've been looking around, and there seems to be quite a few vehicles on the road for motorhomes. What's your thoughts on this and your vehicles that you do source?
Well, a lot of the vehicles we source, not all, but a lot we source from Japan. And one of the reasons there is they generally, well, first of all, they come in auto, and in the years we're doing, because we're doing from 93 models up to current, but in the earlier ones, they didn't have them, they weren't in auto. All the ones we had here were manual. So that was a big one. Yeah. And the other one was, the ones here, Australian ones, were barn door, whereas these ones have a boot. So that was a big attraction as well. And then generally, as with like Japanese vehicles, they're very highly optioned compared to ours. So overall, you get a lot more bang for your buck. We have our own guy on the ground in Japan who sources them for us, and he's got a criteria that he has to meet before they come down. So
you stipulate what you want.
Yeah, that's right. John's the requirements of what we need, and he checks the authenticity of the vehicle and the history of the vehicle. And then, mind you, having said that, we've been caught once or twice too, but in the majority of the cases, we eliminate as much of the risk factor as we can. And then, of course, when they arrive here, pointing over there to our workshop where we put our diesel mechanics on the hoist, and we go right through. Yeah, well, he checks all the hoses and belts and, make sure that they're going to be able to stand up.
So mechanically?
Yeah. They are commercial vehicles, so the motors are very similar to the Toyota Land Cruiser, the 2HZ motor. So they're a 6-cylinder.
Turbo?
Yeah, turbo, diesel, and a lot of them are intercooled, so they've got a bit of grunt, and they're easy, 100 kilometres an hour, just touching.
Power steering?
Yeah, air conditioning, power steering, all of that, yeah. So they're working easily. So that would probably be That would be the main features of. That's awesome. Some people bring us their own vehicles. They go and buy an school bus locally. So one of our main thrusters, we bring our own and we fit them. And we probably get about 2 a month where, and they buy them really good prices too. Local ones might have done a few more kilometres than the ones we're offering, but certainly still a lot of life.
So second hand? Second hand,
yeah. Well, like, put it this way, you or I would never use the light that's left in them because they're commercial vehicles.
And they're diesel.
Yeah, big 4.2, 6-cylinder diesel. They'll do 800,000 or 900,000 kilometres. Yeah.
So, John, we looked at sourcing the vehicles. When you get the vehicles here, what do you actually do to them? What happens if I purchase a vehicle from you? What happens to the vehicle?
Well, the first thing would be we would strip it out, and then we would go through our checklist on what the vehicle needs, the mechanical side of it. Then we would look around, see if it needs any body work done to it. Also, we would take it down and weigh bridge it, and then we have to comply to it. This is an imported one we're talking, yeah. And then we'd have to comply to Australian design rules. And then we give it a service. So, and generally at that point the windows would get tinted. So we then would take it into the workshop and put a start with a brand new fit out. If we're doing it for the showroom, we have 3 different levels, like silver, gold, diamond. So that's a fit out that we have to standard. The guys know exactly what they are, and then they come into the show. But probably 1 and 3 is someone that wants their own design, so we'll custom build. So they can start with a blank sheet of paper and just create their own design. You know, of course, we've got a fair idea after 10 years what most people want, but that's not all people. Some people don't like the layouts or don't like the designs, and they want to do their own, and that's fine. And we've got all the colour combinations in the showroom and their own trim colours.
So microwave, fridge, stoves, TVs and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, that's all, that's part of the norm.
Hot water systems, all that. Parts for all these things, are they available, John, if there's a problem?
Well, we normally try and stick with well-known parts, like the Waco and Dometic, and who are Australia-wide. If any of our clients have any issues, the part can be replaced pretty much, very quickly. And well, of course, the parts on the vehicle, that's Toyota, so that's not really, it's a bit of a no-brainer, that one. So with getting back to the fit out, we give a lifetime guarantee on our fit out. So any part there can be the cooktop, the fridge, the microwave, full lifetime guarantee. A lot of people, it is an industry first, and a lot of people are a bit blown away with it, and we're happy to do it, so only because they're good products and they're well known here, so it's not really, and the manufacturers give us a backing of a warranty with this one. But that's Australia-wide.
And curtains and all that sort of thing, colours?
Yeah, there's a different range. Of course, the curtains are all mainly block, 90% block out, so they're all tailor-made for the vehicle. Yeah, and any part of those accessories are all of what. They're standard in all of our layouts.
The colour of the vehicle, you do anything about the outside?
Yeah, well, the vehicles come in some nice colours. They come in the white, ever popular, normally with the different colour bottom on them, silver or gold. There's an off-white and beige combination. There's a nice, beautiful gold colour. That's really popular when we can get them. There's a silver and white, silver with a white bottom. There's a green, yeah, there's a full range of colours, which is unlike a lot of the buses here, they're not.
Do you do anything else to personalise the vehicles at all?
Well,
You'll find that anybody looks to personalise?
sometimes people want a specific colour, so we'll do that for them. If it's outside the range, yep.
During my course of searches, John, I find that that you can go to the new vehicle stage, which is like a Winnebago, you're anything up to $150,000, $175,000. What are your thoughts on that against your vehicles?
Well, first of all, getting back to the Toyota Coast, because that's our number one seller, is the vehicles are second hand. The vehicle value is generally anywhere from 45 into 55, maybe 60 for a late model one. That vehicle brand new is probably 125, so twice. So the vehicles are a third or to half the price of the late model ones. And the vehicles have lots of life left in it. You know, they've only done a lot of them 100 or under 200.
So basically they only just run in.
They only just because they're commercial vehicles, yeah. And that's the basis we're starting with. In other words, most people come and get a beautiful fit out with a vehicle on the road. They can get out from around 75 for everything. That's hop in and drive.
Drive away for half the price of if you're looking. You'd be looking at the depreciation with the new vehicle. They get in and drive it away, and depreciation straight off out the door against your vehicles, I suppose.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And as I said before, they'll do 800,000 or 900,000. You know, most very similar to Land Cruiser running gear, and we will never use what's left in them. So I would say that's the biggest one.
To take into consideration.
Yeah, the investment and what they're getting.
John, what about people who, per se, have just sold their house and need to be out and about and want to be on the road straight away? They find that,
yeah, they're ready to go.
They're ready to go.
Good. They're retired and want to hit the road.
Hit the road.
Okay, well, when we started, we were just having vehicles where people had to wait 6 to 8, up to 10 weeks for a fit out. But we thought, we had a little bit of this where people were coming in that had been in 2 or 3 years ago, and as you say, circumstances had changed, something's happened, and they've got to get going now. So we've decided that we would pick them out already and have them on the showroom floor. And we call them speckies, and they're usually our show vehicles, and they're really good, particularly on ones that we've either taken to a couple of shows or sitting on the showroom floor. They're all ready to go. When I say ready to go, we need usually a couple of days. And there's usually big savings on those. Sometimes you can save up to $10,000 because they're already complete, and we've done a couple of shows with them. They're still brand new fit outs, never been used.
Never been used.
Still got the lifetime guarantee, still got the 5-year one, exactly the same. So there's a big saving there. So yes, we can accommodate to get you going straight away.
So basically I could walk in off the street and
yes.
Ready to go.
Yes, ready to go. Just choose the colour. There's usually at least 10 on the floor, on the showroom floor.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Yes, John. If I wanted to, I could come in off the street and buy one. But if I wanted to order a bus, I come in and see the salesman, and what happens after that?
Well, generally you'd come in if you were looking at one of ours and you wanted to not take one off the showroom, like build for you, custom build we call them. So you would first, the number one thing would be is your design. So you would have had your requirement, you know, your wish list of what you'd like. For example, single beds, double beds.
So do you have a wish list made out?
Well, we do. We have an information pack that's got all of that in it, and everything that the different levels of fit outs, and also add-ons, accessories and parts, and things that you might want to, that we don't normally put in them. Options and extras and things like that, John. So then we would do that. Then you would choose your layout, and then you would choose your colours, the bench top colours, the doors, the floors, and the curtains. From there, we'd go into our workshop.
Do I select the vehicle at all, or
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a choice. We give you the choice of vehicles that we've got available.
So if I wanted a 4-wheel drive vehicle,
Yeah.
etc., I could
Yeah.
put that into the wish list.
You could. Yeah, we do. The Toyotas that the imported Toyotas come in as standard as a 4-wheel drive. We've sold a few of them.
Right. And then
Most-
after it goes on to the build
Then it
stage?
goes into the workshop, into our factory. Well, it's already come from the workshop. It's had all its checks and it's been stripped, and we've serviced it and done all the mechanical bits. Then it goes into our factory for build. Normally in there, we'll keep you in the loop. Generally, send you out some photos as it's going through.
So I can come in and actually see the vehicle during
Yes,
it's built.
Yeah, you'll be amazed at the people that come in and they want to make some changes halfway through.
That could be a headache.
Yeah, what we say, we want to measure twice and cut once. But that does happen, and we can accommodate that if they get in early. Because sometimes some things don't look like people visualise them to look.
So adjustments can be made during the build.
Yeah, during the very hard to do major adjustments, but no problem. Generally, as a rule, it's not a problem.
And cloth,
We invite you to
trim
come in.
and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, you can do leather trim or cloth trim. There's a full range of trim colours. Yeah, that's.
And does the salesman look after you all through this?
Yeah,
process?
well, he keeps in touch with you, lets you know what stage it's at. Generally invites you to come in and have a look,
And,
at least a couple of times.
And then you build at the end. You come in and take delivery of your vehicle.
Yes, you should allow, when you come to pick it up, you should allow at least a couple of hours for the handover, because there's quite a lot that we need to go through. Yeah, and a lot of people forget. We get a phone call the next day. Oh, yeah. So sometimes the people ring us the next day and they're not, forgotten something. So what we do, we're developing a DVD that they can have a look at after they've,
Oh,
away.
right. So you can a visual DVD, and
Yes.
they can go through all the requirements as far as the workings of the van.
Yeah, that's right. And then we give them an information folder as well when they pick it up, with a few pages on it. If you pull up into your site and there's no power, what do I do? So we walk you through that.
Yeah. Just something that I brought in mind. Normal adapters and that. The vans are fitted for 15 amp and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, they're fitted for 12 volt, of course, so that makes them being able to free camp, and they're fitted for 240. So when you're in the park, you just plug in, and everything's your fridge and your microwave and all that.
So all that pre-delivery is done when you pick the van up.
When you take delivery, we go through all of that with you.
And it's also, sorry.
And they're also 12 volt as well, so if you're out free camping or in national parks, they're fully self-contained, got their own water and their own power.
Right. There's some diesel in the tank.
A little bit of diesel, yes.
Yes, John, we talked a lot of things about buying a vehicle. What about people? Why are people who should or shouldn't buy motorhomes?
Oh, okay. You mean that what sort of people it is right for, and then what sort of people
what do they need?
Yeah, and what sort of people that it isn't right for.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that's not a bad question. Yeah, that's fair enough. All right. Well, look, the biggest one, of course, is car license. You need a license.
Right.
At least a car license, And if you go over in weight, because that's up to 4.5, then that's a light rigid. But as I said before, providing you're under 4.5, which most are, is car license. So first of all, you need a license. Then, of course, you need somewhere to store it. We've had a couple of people have bought and they couldn't, they're 2.4 high with the aircon, so you need to check the garage door.
You can't leave it on the street.
No, that's right. Well, you can, but it mightn't be there for long. And I think probably one of the other biggest ones is you got to be able to enjoy getting away, enjoy getting out and travelling. Also, to get pleasure and enjoyment out of being with like-minded people. I think that's probably pretty important. And enjoy the creature comforts while you're out in the bush. That'd be pretty much it, I'd say, the main ones. So if you didn't like any of that, it's not for you, I would think.
So if you didn't want an environment like a park, you could actually park away from that area, self-contained.
Yeah, if you didn't want to be in a caravan park, and there's a lot of people that don't want to be in caravan, and you know, you've got to consider caravan parks are like 25 to 40 bucks a night, and some are even more. But having said that, there's also some parks that are free. There's a lot of parks that are free in the smaller towns, because you go into town, you buy your food, you buy your fuel, and you buy your drink. So you're putting some money into the community, which is a great thing.
Right.
But yeah, so it's a matter of people fit those
requirements.
That's what they want to do, and it's a matter if it's for you or not. It's not for everybody.
Not for everybody, but down the path that you want to go.
Yes.
John, what sort of questions should a potential buyer be asking the suppliers and dealers of motorhomes?
Well, one of the big one we find would be the guarantees. You know, what am I going to do if this happens or something happens? For example, most guys have some sort of a guarantee. Because we have some commitment. We've got licensed by Department of Fair Trading. We've got premises, and whereas if you're buying off a backyard person, if it's a homemade job, then I don't think there's any guarantees whatsoever. And we've had people bring those to us. To cover our clients, we give a 5-year warranty on the vehicle nationally. That's mechanically. And we also give a lifetime guarantee on the fit-out. So when people drive out from us, they've got, you know, security and peace of mind. One other guarantee we give, which I just remembered, is we also give a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Well, John, thank you. I picked your brains, and thank you for your time and giving me thoughts on what I should do and what I should look for. Is there any final word that you should talk to me about?
Well, John, if there's any one thing I'd have to say is, and we hear this every second day, is don't leave it too late before you get out there. That would be the number one thing that we hear from people.